Hi, I'm Juanita and welcome back to the Knit Guru on this very lovely day. This here is Simply Knitting. I got given this magazine a couple of days ago by somebody who said, "My mother's done with this, do you want it?" And I looked at it and thought, it's very pink. I do like pink. So I figured we're going to have a look at the Simply Knitting magazine, see what kind of things are in it, and make something, and then decide whether or not UK's best knitting, well, UK's favourite knitting magazine. How many knitting magazines are there? See, I'm in New Zealand. We don't have access to a whole stack of things, let alone a range of knitting magazines. Right, okay, so when I open up the first page, hello, welcome to 2023. We're in 2025 right now, so, you know, missed things a bit. We've got some pattern options. Are you digging a hole? Yes, of course you are. He's in disgrace still. So we've got some sort of granny square project. We've got a tea cozy. It looks like the Queen of Hearts. Actually, I kind of feel like making that. We've got a big chunky dinosaur. I'm working on a different pattern with purple yarn at the moment, so I'm not going to make a big purple dinosaur, but if I've got enough purple yarn left over, I could make the big purple dinosaur. For some reason, we've got a mushroom house. It does seem weird. There were project labels that came with this, and a bag, I think. I don't know. Right, what have we got here? What we've got is we've got some ads for yarn. We have got a pattern for this jumper out of Shetland wool. That's kind of cool. How many different size options do we have is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 size options, so that's kind of inclusive. We've got one of these. My sister wants something similar. I could make that. We've got a whole stack of things that people have written in to show off their knitting. Oh, we've got a cardie. I quite like those sleeves, actually. We've got, oh, that looks terrible. Oh, knitting your own hoodie. I don't think so. It would be so heavy. We've got a lace shawl that I don't think I'm going to make because I've still got a Hobie one I haven't made from the yarn advent, because this is what we're still dealing with. It's going to be months. Right, okay. We've got the mushroom house, saying it's bedroom decor. So it's like a stuffed mushroom house. Yeah, not going to make that. We've got a big slouchy jumper that I don't like, so I'm not making that. But I do like the fact there's cables on the sleeves. I do like cables on a sleeve. We've got a year of knitted blanket. Okay, so this is a cowl, and you need to get more editions of the magazine to make all of it. Well, that makes sense. This is part 3, so there's 1, 2, 3 patterns there for that, with a lot of instructions. Oh, okay. Where's the picture of this? Because this is something that I could potentially make. It's got kids sizes from 6 months to 5 years. That's kind of cool. Oh, man jersey, with a man sitting there as if to say, please don't draw attention to me. That's cool. Oh, slight breeze. There's our chunky dino. Chunky dino is quite an intensive pattern. They're calling it the Rosetta tea cozy. I do want to make that, but as we know, I don't have a lot of green yarn in my stash. If I have green yarn, I could make that, because it really has to be wool, doesn't it, for a tea cozy? I don't want to do it in acrylic because it's going next to something hot. Some circles. I mean, not really my thing. Big giant circles drawn all over my big giant circle belly? I think not. Oh, I mean, it feels like there's a lot in here. There's a whole stack of neutral yarn reviews. There's some slippers. I could make the slippers. They've got a nice heart on them. So slippers are an option. How many sizes are there on the slippers? There's 2 sizes on the slippers. And are they children's? It doesn't say. There are 2 sizes on the slippers. It doesn't say what size they're for. So 32 stitches on 5mm circular needles. What size is the yarn? Aran weight. I mean, it feels like... I don't know. It feels like it might be an adult pattern. I don't know. There's a whole stack of how to knit instructions. I wonder if they put those in every magazine. You never know which one's going to be your first one, does it? Then the last pattern in the book is a cup cozy. Okay, so I feel like the cup cozy is an easy choice because that shouldn't take too long. So I might have a go at the cup cozy, and I'll have a look and see whether or not I've got enough yarn to make the tea cozy. And then we'll come back and talk about the instructions in this magazine. As far as number of things in there, it's kind of cool. It's covered off enough options of things that people could knit. There's definitely some things that are challenging and some things that are easy. So I guess for some people they'll be aspirational tasks. But yeah, let's have a look at the instructions and have a go at making something and see what happens there. I'll catch you shortly.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild.
So where are we up to on the tea cozy? I think I now have all the parts. Now I'm not doing the brush and I'm not doing the paint pail because I don't see the point in doing those. I don't think it's necessary, but what I did do was make 2 flowers that were in a mixture of red and white to make it look like they're being painted, and I think that should be enough. So the next task is to stitch it all up and then go through our pattern review. Alright, so this is the end of my video, and this is my review of this random Simply Knitting magazine. So I have made this tea cozy following the instructions. And I say following the instructions, I'll go through some feelings about it in just a moment. And I have made... Where's it gone? There's it gone. There's an extra bit there. This coffee cozy. Now my coffee cozy, the issues with this pattern here is it's not really a pattern. It was just more of a stitch tutorial that said make it long enough to go around your coffee cup, but it does slide a lot. So, you know, that's my issue with that one. But for a 1-page stitch tutorial, it's not really a bad thing. It looks pretty. It does look good, and I have made it in as close to the yarn that was recommended as possible. Now, what I found with making the tea cozy, because I thought that the tea cozy was a good choice because it was one of their longer patterns, but there are some issues. Like, I put some highlights through some of these things here. Row 4, there's an issue where it tells you, it puts a star in there and says to repeat from the star until the last 3 stitches, which is fine, only there's no star at the start, so you just kind of have to know what you're doing to do that. And it's not a beginner pattern. It does say it's a 2-ball, not 3-ball out of... It's got a difficulty rating of 1 to 3 balls, and this says 2 balls. But you have to know what you're doing to be able to solve that problem. The next issue I had was with the roses themselves. It said to cast on 40 stitches, but then no matter how many times I tried to redo what they had written, I couldn't get to 16 stitches by the second row, so I ended up not worrying about the stitch count and just doing the instructions, if that makes sense, which gave me these roses, which have like these little holes in them, and then I just reworked them a little, which gave me these ones, which are a little bit more solid. Yeah, I also decided to do some that were half and half coloured, so that I didn't have to make the paintbrush and the paint drips and the paint pail, because I didn't like them as much as I liked the idea of the bush with the roses. And then the last issue I had with it was to do with this yellow crown that goes in here, and then it clearly says that on row 4 I'm supposed to knit 1 and then yarn over, knit 2 together all the way across to the end. It happens on a purl row, and if you knit it, I mean, you can knit it, but it does mean that you end up with this extra like wobble, and the wobble's not in the picture. Yeah, so I just changed it and did it as a purl 2 together, yarn over, purl 2 together, which gave me what it looks like in the picture rather than what's in the instructions. So after doing that, what do I think about this magazine? Well, I feel like when you've got something like this magazine, they don't have time to be being overly critical in their tech editing. Like, this is a cool pattern and I really liked it. It's just that it's not particularly accurate, and if I was a beginner that would throw me off and I would have something that I wasn't happy with. I think to make this worth buying, you would really want to either make one of the patterns or just want to do some reading. I mean, it's a really nice magazine. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a lot of things I don't understand. I do not understand this stuffed mushroom. It's very cute, but what kind of child wants to cuddle a stuffed mushroom that looks like a house? If it had a face, maybe, but it looks like a house, but it doesn't stand up by itself, so it's really just decor. And yeah, but it is very neat. It's the same with they've got there's a lot of interesting patterns, and I will probably try some more of them at some point, but I am worried about the accuracy of what's written in the patterns. If just doing this one here, I found 3 mistakes that I had to problem solve. However, I thoroughly enjoyed reading the magazine. Will I buy one for myself? I don't know. Probably if I saw this magazine and this picture was larger, like if this picture was this picture, I would have paid money for this magazine, but I was just given this. It was a nice read. I don't know what it's worth here in New Zealand. It says that it's £7.99, so that would make it, what, at least a $20 magazine, which is reasonable. But if I was, yeah, I mean, if it looked like there was either a pattern I was interested in or it had a nice looking article, I would 100% buy it again. If somebody gave me this magazine, 10 out of 10. If I could find this magazine in the library, I'd totally read it. What am I going to do with it now? I don't know. There's part of me that thinks that I should go through and pull out the easy patterns, because there is a pattern here for scrap scrunchies, and if I pull out the easy patterns and give them to the knitting and crochet class at school, those kids will have something they can work on as like their first project, and something like a scrunchie they're going to use. So it's not a bad magazine, but yeah, it's not a bad magazine, but I think you do need to know what you're doing. In the meantime, that's all from me, and I will see you next week. Bye.